Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Malicious Compliance. In today's episode, rental car company told me where to leave my keys, and when I left them there, tried to charge me for an extra day. So I refused to give them the car back until last minute. Take my ID and ask me what are you going to do about it? Okay. Won't talk to me. Don't worry, I will talk to HR. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Rental car company told me where to leave my keys, and when I left them there, tried to charge me for an extra day. So I refused to give them the car back until last minute. I rented a car for 5 weeks while my car was being repaired from a car accident. The rental company had a couple great policies: no cleaning fee no matter how gross the car was, and unlimited miles. Ideal for me, I live in the country, and going anywhere is a drive. When my car was finally scheduled to be finished, on Monday evening, I called the rental car company on Sunday. Asked about return details. They said return time would be 5:30 p.m. Monday, but I could just leave it at the shop and leave the keys in the shop's drop box. I said sure, and next night I went, got my car, left keys in the box. Got in my car, and check engine light is on. Staff says come back tomorrow and we will fix it. I go home thinking that I will be sitting at the shop all Tuesday because no other ride. Tuesday morning I wake up at 7 a.m. to the rental car company very angry and saying that they can't get into the drop box and shop doesn't open till 9. I tell them I just did what they said to do. They told me that they would be charging me an extra day. At that I'm furious. I leave my house later and arrive at the ship at 8:50. Rental car guys aren't there. I sit around and shop opens, I grab the rental keys and give them my car. Right on time, rental car guys appear. They demand the keys and I ask if I'm still getting charged for an extra day. One guy is inspecting the car while the other tells me yes, I'm getting charged an extra day. Guy inspecting it comes over and day's car looks good, it should be ready to rent out immediately. I had cleaned it the day before because I didn't want to be a D***CK. Well, I refused to give him the keys. Since I'm getting charged an extra day, that means it's my car until 5:30 today, right? At that he gets nervous. Says they need the car back. I will give you the keys now if you don't charge me an extra day. But if I'm charged an extra day, I'm using it. He refuses to bend, so I leave. At this point I'm petty and angry. So I go straight home. I own a farm and it has been raining like mad lately. I get to work. By the time 10 a.m. rolls around, the car is covered in mud. Like, this black car looks painted brown. I didn't trash the inside, because I'm not that petty. I hop in the car and drive to the rental place. I'm pretty covered in mud at this point. I had put trash bags on the front seat to limit it. I walk into the rental place looking like I fell into a mud pit. The guy who refused to cancel the charge looks horrified. I tell them this car is great for mudding. I'm gonna go mudding for the rest of the day. Just swinging by to ask where to put the keys at 530 I'm all smiles and dripping sweetness. I watch the life leave him, his shoulders slump, and he says if I return the car now they will cancel the charge because they need to rent out the car. I give him the keys and take an Uber to the shop, where my car is ready. No cleaning fee and no extra day charge. Ha! Edit, alright, might as well address the few things. The Uber, I called the Uber after I walked out of the rental car place. It took half an hour to arrive. I had brought extra trash bags, so I stripped down a bit, shorts and undershirt, and put on 2 trash bags that I cut holes in. Put my clothes in a bag. Let the mud on my exposed body parts flake off. Did I look absolutely ridiculous? Yes. Did I get mud in some poor stranger's car? No. I didn't want to actually ruin the day for some kid getting minimum wage. That's why I only mud the outside. That's a pretty easy clean. I didn't want to wreck anyone's day, even the asshole that charged me. My goal was to make the car messy and shocking enough to get them to not charge me because they were desperate to get it back. If the outside is that bad, what did he do to the inside? The car was $91 a day, first 3 weeks $39 a day, and then went up for last 2 weeks to $91, and my insurance did not cover it. I was not willing to let $91 slide. The keys were left at the auto shop, in the auto shop's key box. That key box was not open at 7 a.m. when rental car company went to get the car. When I went around 9 a.m. to drop my car off, the auto shop opened the box for me and gave me the rental car keys. Rental car people appeared a few minutes later. Sorry if spelling and grammar ain't great. It isn't a thesis. Pretty crappy to charge you for the day that they had already rented that car to another person. That was double-dipping rental of the same car for the same day. I don't understand. Do you have my reservation? We have your reservation, we just ran out of cars. But the reservation keeps the car here. That's why you have the reservation. I think I know why we have reservations. I don't think you do. My mom was in a car accident a few years back. The shop that did the repairs was partnered with nationally known rental company, so they had a few cars on hand to lend out. Anyway, after she got her car back, she left the rental with the shop. They said they'd take care of everything, and forgot about it. So the rental company is charging her for the extra days when she supposedly didn't return it. The insurance won't cover it because it wasn't part of the 2-week deal for her car getting repaired, and the shop employees are denying it was on their lot because they know they *get up. I hate people sometimes. Perfection. I bet that car was fun to clean. Shrug. I bet that they pay grunts to wash cars for minimum wage and have it down to a science. I once asked if I could vacate my apartment with less than 60 days notice if they could find someone else to rent it in time, and they said sure, but if they couldn't, they wanted to do renovations first. It was clear they weren't going to look for a new tenant and were hoping I would just pay for the last month and still move out, allowing them to do renos without losing a month's rent. I said I wasn't going to move out until the end of the last date I had paid for, which wasn't true since I already had a move-in date for my new place, but I left a few things behind so that I was still using the apartment for another month since I had been forced to pay for it. They noticed I moved out and started doing renovations in the apartment without getting permission from me or giving notice that they were going to enter the apartment. Called them out on it and got my month's rent back. Never make it easy for corporations to take advantage of you. They were repairing your car for 5 weeks, and at the end of that the check engine light was on? That's like, literally the simplest indicator the car can give to say it's not yet fully repaired. This is one of the best malicious compliance I've seen. The policies most of these rental car places have are so anti-consumer that it's hard to feel bad, even though someone making minimum wage and had nothing to do with the decision probably had to deal with the cleaning. Take my ID and ask me what are you going to do about it. Okay. So when I was a wee superb _raccoon, but still superb. I was in the Navy. Recently 21, we decided to go to a bar that had a decent local cover band. So we show up and I present my ID, grant you, clean cut and close shaved. I did not look 21. But my out-of-state ID was no good and all I had was my military ID. Doorman decides he can mess with me. This is fake. I am keeping it. My eyes bugged out. Dude, that is a military ID. Give it back. Nope, mine now. $20 bucks or get off. I can't get back on base without it. I said. Then you better cough up $20 or get off. Oh, I see. This is a shakedown. Get off, huh? Okay. Cue malicious compliance. Buddy who drove and used state ID drove us back. We go into the officer of the day's office to report my lost/stolen ID. Odie is a crusty old bastard, but fair. Actually a Mustang, he takes orders from the president and God. and we are not sure of the president. He might tell him to get off if it is a stupid idea. He listens. My buddy backs my story. His eyes narrow in an evil way. Chief, can you come up here? I got a present for you. I started to shake a little. Am I headed for a few days in the brig for losing my ID? There goes any chance of a bump to E4. Seaman Raccoon here says the doorman at Joe's took his ID and wants $20. Pull a driver and one of those jarheads at the gate and go down there and sort it out. The chief looks at me like fresh meat. Come on, you two, we are going for a ride. So we all pile in the van with a couple of Marines in BDU and sidearms. It is quiet on the way there. Chief don't look too happy. Can't believe I got a deal with this shit. Well, at least I don't have to sit at the desk all night. So we roll up. Place is pretty packed. Doorman don't look so tough as the chief stalks up to him like a storm cloud spitting lightning and two armed Marines flanking him. I am hanging back. Raccoon. This the guy with your ID? Yes, Chief. Chief gets up toe-to-toe with him. Chief is short and wide, but is built like a brick wall. Jim Muscle Doorman takes a step back, but dude has nowhere to go into the little entranceway. Give me his ID now, or I will start looking for it myself. ID is produced. Handed to me. Doorman ignored. Chief pulls the door open, looks at the room, motions for the Marines to make a halt to the bar, make it wide. They do so, calmly shouting to move people out of the way as the music and talk dies down. Chief grabs a chair, stands on it, then uses his parade ground voice. All active duty military. This site is now on the prohibited list. Pay your tab and get out. He gets down, walks out with Marines tailing him, and half the bar follows them out. Very few are active duty this far from base, but many are reserve or retired. They don't like shit like this either. Place went on the list and was still there when I transferred out 6M or so later. Imagine losing half of your entire clientele over a power-tripping muscle bro and $20. Kudos to your superiors for having your back. Great story. With an announcement like that, you'd lose a lot of civilians too. If whatever's going on in that bar gets the military to ban service members from going there, I'm not sticking around either. What an incredible show of you're messing with the wrong guy here. I wonder how many $20 shakedowns he actually got away with. Probably no more after that. A place could go bankrupt on the prohibited list. I've heard of a bar in CO that stayed afloat for almost a year after getting prohibited by changing its name several times, and in the end its address, and the address of every business of the owner of the bar, got prohibited. Filed bankruptcy and left the state. That establishment may have been on their radar for some time. This may have been the motivation to deal with it. Why? It's possible a few IDs had needed replacing and no one had said why. Now that they had a specific culprit, the stars aligned. Also, Raccoon, you may have saved a lot of other sailors $20. This is a good lesson in speaking up. Won't talk to me. Don't worry, I will talk to HR. So I used to be a union delegate for a large firm with multiple sites. We had a Karen of a manager who was appointed by her uncle, a director of the firm, to her role. She wasn't very bright and told me once 40 was half of 100. I have written on this subreddit before about her. Where I work, we get 4 weeks annual leave, 2 weeks sick leave and 2 days bereavement leave a year. All this leave is accumulating too, so if you don't use it, it builds up. So one of my union members, Max, goes to Karen and asks for bereavement leave, and she refuses as Max has no proof his grandmother has died. She also quotes part of our employment contract that states managers can ask for proof of death for bereavement leave. Max explains he from a culture where funerals are very important, but Karen refuses him still. He tried to explain that it's not just the grieving process but the actual cultural event for social reason also. Max is flabbergasted and comes to me. Our contract actually states proof is required if the employee has a poor leave record. It also states without a poor leave record, bereavement leave cannot be refused. Max has worked for the firm for 5 years without a single day off besides annual leave. I approach Karen about it and she says she won't talk to me about it, and I'm wrong. She tells me to take it above her if I have a problem, but she is right. By sheer coincidence, it's a quarterly union meeting with the executives later that day, and as per Karen's instructions, I take it above her. Max is also from an ethnic and cultural minority. Come the meeting, I explain the situation to everyone present, including Max's ethnic and cultural background. I ask 4 questions. 1. Why are you breaking employee contract, and are you prepared to go to court, as we are? 2. Why is the firm being culturally insensitive? 3. Why is the firm being racist by denying someone's ethnic and cultural beliefs? 4. Where is the general compassion from the firm? There was stone-cold silence for a good 2 minutes. The head of HR offered his apologies. Told me the leave would be granted. He would personally ring Max and grant him leave and an apology. Karen got blasted by multiple senior managers. Karen would have been sacked, but her uncle, the director of the firm, stopped this. Every manager on my worksite the following week spent 3 days training in employee rights, racial and cultural sensitivity and compassion in the workplace. They also got told the training was because of Karen's actions, which alienated her from the management group. Max got a full week off with pay without needing to use his bereavement leave. Also sorry for typos etc. as written on a phone. Kudos. Perfect MC. Well written. Succinct. Consequences included, and a nice twist at the end. Thank you for having the back of your folks, and spicing it up against a Karen. As a shop steward, I approve this message. Seriously, nothing more glorious than a perfectly timed management blunder. Doubly so when you can hoist the company up by their petard upon the values they claim to honor. Nice. And people wonder why we need more unionized workers. Did I read right? 2 days off each year for bereavement, that can build up, so if someone worked for a company for 25 years, they would get 50 days off for bereavement? Yep. Same with sick leave. One of the managers was there for 35 years. Broke his neck skiing and had 8 months off paid sick leave. It kinda makes morbid sense. As the older you get, the more bereavement you'll experience. You did just as you were directed, which is excellent. But I just need to ask why you brought ethic and cultural difference into it unless Karen hinted that it was part of her decision to reject his request? If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.